Hey there everybody, so today we are going to be customizing two plushies here. This one was a knockoff Phantom Foxy plushie, which we are going to make look a heck of a lot more accurate and go off and just make him look decent and good. We're going to be putting a lot of color into this guy because he is noticeably brown, which he needs to be that somewhat sunburnt orangish sunburnt red color. Here we have some flamingo red paint. And then we are also going to add some of the sparkling, like we did for Phantom Freddy and Phantom Chica, just to go off and give his green bits a little bit of a ghastly update, as well as using some silver paint for his ear withering. And we're going to cut his arm off and make this guy look like Phantom Foxy, because he does not look anything like Phantom Foxy, as well as making him a Phantom Eye to make him look a heck of a lot better. So make sure you have an extra little bottle cap ready to go off and customize this guy if you're making him with me. And our second one here is going to be a Phantom Puppet plush, which is really easy to make simply because it doesn't really have any physical damage, and it's more about the applications, the damage of the upper mask here. But it'll be really easy to make, so you guys could probably make this one just using basic stuff like a Sharpie and some green paint. But no cutting will be required on this one, so don't really worry about it, but let's go ahead and jump right into it. Alright guys, so the colors that we're going to use for our puppet here are obviously black, this nice dark green paint, as well as this nice period dot sparkle paint like we used on Phantom Freddy and Phantom Chica. So let's go ahead and get into it. Now this one I'm going to do the footage here where I don't really have to stop anything, simply because this is going to be a pretty easy plush to make. Also, make sure that you have some nice water available, so that way you can go off and one, drink, and two, mix your paint. So we're going to go off and use that. I better move it a little closer to Foxy there, so that way we don't go off and contaminate our plush here. So the first thing you're going to want to do, obviously, is go off and just take this paint and put it all over this thing's mask. You don't have to put it on the black. I mean, I guess you can if you want to, but it's really not going to do anything other than just kind of make the hair a little bit rough and not very pleasant to the touch, which I don't prefer to do on my plushies. So then you just kind of go off and push this around as best you can, and it really goes off and adds a bit of that degraded, decrepit feeling. See just how easily that starts to go off and mark up the mask. And then you just keep applying more, some darker bits here and there, which you can do throughout the layers. And you want to get this on nearly every little piece, especially where the detailing is, because we'll fill that in with black. So that way it looks a lot more decrepit on the different paint and such. Especially around these eye sockets, you got to go off and make sure it's all consistent. And then just keep on dropping it here to really push the point home that this guy has seen some unfavorable treatment. And pretty sad, really, what happens to these animatronics as they just get more worn and decrepit over time. Now, we don't really know if the Phantoms are actually physical animatronics, which they're obviously named Phantoms, which means that they're not there. But we don't know if these robots actually got to the point where they were treated like this, or if this is from the imagination of the player in FNAF 3. But if they really got to be at this point, this is pretty bad, you know. They're all burnt up and scorched, and faces are distorted. Not a good deal. Reminds me of the picture of Billy Bob that went viral a few years back, where his face was like melting off. Or the one with Rolf the Wolf. It's just scary looking. The latex is like burnt off of him. But here you can see now our Phantom Puppet has fully got the green face. Then we're going to go off and liquidate some of our green here and put it on the buttons. Give them a bit of a green coat, as well as the arms. Now you'll notice that I'm getting it also on the black. And that's just to go off and stain it up a little bit. If it's watered down paint, it won't go off and mess with the fabric nearly as... Look at how poorly that was done. I'm so glad this was a knockoff. Look at how poorly the matching up was done right there. Complete offset, and it's right where you'll be looking at the darn thing. Good thing Funko didn't do stuff like that. I mean, they kind of did with the twisted ones, but, it wasn't that bad. At least not that I remember. I'm sure that there's some bad ones out there that are like that. All right. So there we go. He's nice and stained up now. Now we're going to pause. Now, while we are letting our puppet mask go off and dry a little bit, we can actually put on the black details, simply because the black detailing is going to be strictly black and nothing else, so it's not really going to mess with it too much. If we can get some black paint to go off and squish out of here real quick into our lid. I use the lids as like a little paint palette. We're going to go off and wash our brush off a little better than that. Not a very satisfying sound to hear, I'm going to say that. But then we can go off and take this, and we're going to put the tear tracks in black. Dun, 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 dun. And it will look a lot more frightening-ish. There we go. There's one. Then one over here. You can leave purple if you would like to go off and show it like really being degraded. So we're going to go back over this with the period dot and such. We're going to just add a little bit of a color, really mix it in with the green here. Give it that little bit of a wash to it, because that's kind of how it looks in the game. Then for the lips, this one is really down center. Just very poorly applied there. There we go. There. Give it a little bit of a color on there without going off and completely just submerging it into color, not being able to know what it is. Perfect. All right. Now it looks really degraded, and then you can just go up over the top in the green, go over it with some black as well. Go off and try not to run over your details, or else it might look a little bit washed out, like can't really tell what's going on. But you do want to make sure that you get the neck parts down here, really make it look like this thing has been burnt from the top and the bottom. So it really helps blend the whole thing together. Like, look at that. Go off and just play around with the brush and see where it takes you, because it can also make the green darker, which is a good thing. We'll add a little bit of water. There we go. Get some of them drips to run down. It'll really make it look like it has seen some damage. Perfect. And you can shake it and just watch the drips run down. It'll add a lot of depth to the details. Perfect. All right. Now that we've gotten this done, we need to go ahead and keep on going. So we're going to pause and come back. So now we can splat some period dot paint on the top and wipe it down from the top down. It'll give the appearance of little like glowing bits in the mask, and it should help us out with some detail here. Get some of that glitter up in there, and we can just spread this all around. You don't want any in the top, or I guess it's our left, it's right, our up corner, because we're going to put black over that to show some of the mask cracks and such. You can also go off and put some around the different like sides of the face and down by the mouth. Go off and show it off a little bit. But we are near the withering process, so we can go ahead and transition into that if you guys would like to. Put some in the tear tracks and really go off and exemplify that they have been kind of burnt up a little bit. Move some of the black paint around too with it to just kind of cover this up, and we want to spread some of this out and keep our little lines and stuff going. So it'll all go off and dry, and it'll still have the green color to it, but it won't be all up in one spot. All right, so now what we're going to do is wipe this down by the mouth, put some right here. And then we can go back over our details that we did earlier and put some just on the body randomly to show that the body is also seen some damage. And this stuff will go off and like dry in there, and it'll just be like little glitter, like sparkles and stuff. And it'll go off and really set this apart from the other puppets that we have. Oh, don't want that. Go off and just really wipe it up in here, and the arms and stuff, down on the palms, turn it around, put some on the back the head, sides, the butt, down here, all over the place. Go off and really show off that this puppet is damaged. Now, what we can do while we wait for it to go off and dry a little better is start on our Foxy. So with Foxy, we're going to go ahead and do a time lapse simply because there's so much that we're going to need to do, including cutting these down, cut his ear off, cut his arm off, add some wires and such, and we're going to basically damage this guy up, and I'll see you guys at the end of the video. Bye-bye! Alright guys, so we have just now managed to finish off our puppet plushie here. As you guys can see, it is just slightly disturbed looking, I'm not gonna lie. Its eyes, I think I did a great improvement. I actually made those out of paper and slipped them up into the mask off screen, simply because I thought that they looked better than the painted in ones. And our Phantom Foxy definitely could use some work, but this is about to the extent that I can get it at the moment. So I think it looks passable. Not great, but it certainly does look better than whenever we started, in my opinion. Anyway, guys, I hope this was a helpful video for you guys. If you are big into the FNAF plushies, we are going to be making the Shadow animatronics next, so keep that in mind and hit the subscribe button if you guys are interested. We have some work to do. We need to complete the Phantoms. We're going to make Nightmare Mangle at some point, maybe next month, maybe, possibly. And I have a news video that might be coming out within the next few days, or I might just make a community post. Depends on how bored I feel. And anyway, guys, thank you all so very much for watching. Peace out, and bye-bye! Bye-bye!